as I go deep into your patterns and personal cycles through divine numerology. Any life transition you're experiencing can be illuminated by an in-depth analysis of your chart. For the first time in Stockton, you now have access to a professional numerologist here to help you light your own way. I'm in the booth to help you find your own truth. Tune in to Divine Numerology every Friday at 3 p.m. on The Voice of Stockton.
Welcome to the afternoon entertainment hour at OJ's Juice Bar, and here's today's juice.
Listen to OJ's Juice Bar, Sundays at 4 p.m. on KXVS, The Voice of Stockton.
Do you want to relive the golden days of Stockton? Join Nate Knott on Stockton Alive every first and third Monday at 6 p.m. Tune into thevoiceofstockton.org.
What's up, everybody? This is your boy Marcellus.
This is your girl Ronnie.
It's Tim Hawley.
And Al X.
And we're coming at you with the KXVS
Morning Show.
Hi everyone, this is Dr. Julie Dameron, local veterinarian for over 20 years. I am so excited about my new radio show, Tales and Tips, on Tuesday morning at 10 a.m. on Facebook, YouTube, Voice of Stockton, and KXVS Radio. I will discuss relevant issues affecting animals and pet owners today, how to avoid common problems, and how to extend the quality of life for your cherished companions. As a community advocate, I will also discuss important social issues that affect our city. I plan to showcase organizations and heroes who are doing amazing things to help others. Remember to tune in every Tuesday morning at 10, starting soon.
KXVS, The Voice of Stockton, live. The Voice of Stockton at Stone Soup Studio. KXVS.org.
Welcome on a Monday afternoon, the Voice of Stockton, KXVX. Today we're going to be having an entertaining topic. My guest, Connie O'Day, will be helping me today. Yes. And we have a very good guest today, speaker. So why don't you go ahead and introduce them?
Well, here I sit between these two wonderful gentlemen. On my right is Ted Gonzales, and he's from the Aztec Center.
Thank you.
And on my left here is Fred Oshtroy. He's a realtor from PMZ. Is that correct? PMZ Real Estate.
That is
very
correct.
Good. First of all, we'll be talking with Ted Gonzales. And Ted, you have some community issues that you want to talk about, or
yes,
is that what you want to start out with?
Sure.
Okay.
Okay. First, I want to say thank you to Connie and Doug Vigil and KXVS 92.1 and Mr. Fred Oshtroy for the opportunity to be here today. And I also wanted to send out a special thank you to all the veterans for Veterans Day, and thank you for your service. Today I'm going to speak a few minutes about the last city council meeting and homelessness. And homelessness is a serious issue here in Stockton. I think that our city council should be looking for solutions instead of giving taxpayers money away and attacking other citizens on the Facebook for reasons unknown.
And Ted, you're talking about the city of Stockton City Council. Correct?
Yes, yes, I am.
Stockton, California, right?
Yes, I am. I'm a former city councilman, so we know that we're educated and we know exactly how everything works down there at City Hall. So we know that at the last meeting, our city councilwoman, Christina Fugazi, had questions about the $250,000 grant that went to the Fathers of San Joaquin County and Catholic Charities. The question was, if last year $50,000 was given to Fathers of San Joaquin County to plant trees on Market Street, well, the trees were never planted. So what happened to that $50,000?
When you're talking about Fathers of San Joaquin, who are you talking about?
We're talking about Sammy Nunez.
Oh, you're talking about the city council?
No.
No? Oh, it's
a
an
non-profit organization.
Oh, okay. So we make that clear for our audience to
Yes, it's a
understand that.
non-profit organization, and we're concerned because people on staff were saying that if they work for Catholic Social Services here or the Catholic Charities and they were arrested, our Mayor Tubbs would bail them out with no problem, get them out of jail. And this isn't right. You know, we have people threatening other people. In particular, my good friend Mr. Sanchez was threatened by a employee at the Catholic Social Charities, and that's uncalled for. You know, and the $250,000 going to both of these nonprofits, and there wasn't even given a chance. It wasn't put up for bid. Nobody got a chance to bid for this grant, and Ms. Fugazi had several questions. And as I was watching on TV, live TV, I noticed that the staff member just kept talking, and he never did answer the question about the $90 per hour. These people who are going to be working on this grant going to get paid $90 an hour. I don't know what for. He never answered. And then there was another $1,000 they were going to be giving to certain members in this group for a job that he couldn't even answer that. So
what you're saying is that the city received $90,000 grant to be used for nonprofit organizations to plant trees here in Stockton?
No, that was $50,000 last year.
Okay.
That went to Fathers Mentoring
and
Parents in San Joaquin
County. Did that money get to them?
Sure did.
Okay, now the rest of this money you're talking about, where was that supposed to go to?
Well, we don't know what happened to the trees. No trees were ever planted.
So the trees were never planted?
Never planted, and they still give them money to continue to work. And this Fathers Mentoring Fathers was working with the Reinvent Stockton, which were campaigning for Mr. Mayor Tubbs, and this is completely against the rules of nonprofit agencies to be out campaigning for anybody. So we object to that. We also object to $1,000 a month going out on this grant for a position that the city staff couldn't even answer.
What the position was, or who was holding it?
Yes, and Ms. Fugazi was very clear on her questions, and you know, there wasn't even a debate. There was nothing that happened, and it was just pushed on through. Well, the only one voting against it was Ms. Fugazi, and I don't know why $250,000 goes more to the Fathers of San Joaquin County if they can't even account for the $50,000 for planting a few trees last year.
And so that were never planted.
They were never planted. And so that's some things that I'm concerned with. Again, I'm concerned with this money being passed out when it could have been used for the homeless people in our community. It could have been used for part-time jobs. It could have been used for housing. People are suffering in Stockton. Just one block from City Hall, people are camping out.
Right.
They're asking Tubbs to help, but Mr. Tubbs is in Paris because somebody funded his trip, and he was asked, well, what about the citizens in Stockton? And his answer was, oh, the trolls. No, we are not trolls. We are taxpayers.
He referred to us
exactly as trolls.
As trolls.
As trolls.
Yes. Wow.
And that was completely an insult.
And was this at a city council meeting?
No, this is while he was on his fun trip to Paris.
When he was interviewed.
Yes, and he was interviewed, and it came through, and I don't appreciate that type of behavior. We know he's only 27 years old, but this is uncalled for. You know, he should respect people who voted for him and people who did not vote for him. He still represents this community. This is the voice of Stockton. This is our community. We're concerned with prostitution and drugs being dealt on Wilson Way. Nothing's being done. We see the girls are working freely. They're working in the alleys. They're working. There's hypodermic needles and businesses in the parking lots. What is Mayor Tubbs going to do about it? I have no idea.
So are you, if I may ask, Ted, have you organized any of the community to address these issues to the city council?
Yes, I'm currently collaborating with Project Voice and Semillas, and we are concerned that all this money is being used, and the Fair Oaks Library, which I fought to keep open and to reopen, we still don't have full-time staff, but and yet we have $250,000 to throw away on a grant that was not put up for bid. Nobody got a chance to bid for this money.
So where is that money at?
It's gone to Fathers of San Joaquin County and Catholic Charities.
And so what are they doing with the money? Do you know?
No, I don't.
Or
I don't know.
has the
There's
question been
a lot of
asked?
questions that staff did not answer when Ms. Fugazi had the question. It was like the rest of the council. It was a joke, you know, and it's not a joke. This is not a joke. This is taxpayers' money. They claim it's not taxpayers' money, but we know that the $300,000 that the mayor spent hiring 2 advisors, $150,000 each per year, could have been used for the homeless, could have been used for the library, and it could have been used for the low income here in Stockton. But
Right.
he's forgetting where he came from, you know. And we know that he's sure does please the developers, and he's pleasing these people who are putting money in his pocket to be reelected for the next time around. So, Mr. Tubbs, we will be there. I will be there voicing my opposition Tuesday night, because this is not right what you're doing up here for the city of Stockton. You're not doing a service. You're doing a disservice.
Well, I hope, and I think you will agree with me, Ted, is that any money that comes from the federal or from the state that comes to our county, to our city, yes, it is taxpayers' money. Because those people that sit on the city council are there to serve us, the community, the citizens of Stockton, not trolls or whatever.
Yeah.
Citizens of Stockton. And so I hope you do put your issues together and bring it before the council, city council. Is that next Tuesday?
I hope so. I hope it is tomorrow. I hope it is. I will be calling the city clerk's office to make sure if there's a meeting, I will be there.
Mm-hmm.
And I will be there in force. I will take my neighbors and friends, because people on District 4 are not happy that the crime continues to soar at the Harding Way and Wilson Way corridor. We had a girl beat up, had her teeth knocked out in front of Kentucky Fried Chicken. Then we also had a man go berserk and ran his car into the cigarette shop at Harding Way and Airport. And you know, I'm just questioning, you know, where's our PD? You know, we paid the taxes. We need more PD to be out there and to make sure that businessmen like myself, our businesses are protected.
Definitely. Because
we have their thug life is a life, and somebody's promoting thug life, and I like for that stuff to end.
Thug life.
Thug life.
Thug life.
Yes.
Okay. Yep. That's a
I
good
hate
example.
to sound like that, but that's what's going on. And I was on the city council. We didn't have this kind of business going on. We were honest to the people. We didn't have anything to hide. Joan Dare did a great job, and Johnson did a great job. And Silva came behind. He tried to do something with the homeless. No, now we have Mr. Tubbs. He has did nothing. Homelessness has grown 15% since he took office. And I'd like to know, where is his plan what's he going to do about it? Because I just see a lot of money being wasted
right
at the city hall and the city government.
Well, I hope that the people that you've talked to and who agree with you, I would definitely have them get in touch with you.
Sure.
And
I'm at the Aztec Center, 16.
What can you tell us about the Aztec Center?
Well, the Aztec Center is basically, we're working with the low-income Stocktonians, and we're finding jobs for them, and we're finding housing. We're teaching English to the farm workers. We're working with the Spanish-speaking. We're working with the youth, and we're mentoring the youth. We're doing a lot of different programs there, and we're currently in the middle of remodeling right now, but I still find time. If you just come to the office between 9 and 2 o'clock in the afternoon, I'm usually there, and if I'm not there, staff will be there to help you. We're open Monday through Friday from 9:30 to 3 at your convenience. We're here to help you, and all the services are free.
So if others are concerned in what you have been speaking about, they can come down there and talk to you. And
yes, they can, and I'm there at 1632 East Harding Way, and I'm proud to say that I will be attending Roosevelt School tomorrow morning to be discussing civil rights and domestic violence, and it's a pleasure to be there with Miss Lopez.
Will you be doing that with students?
No, this will be for a
staff?
parent meeting,
Parents.
Spanish-speaking parents. Also at Grunsky School, we'll be there on December the 12th at 8 o'clock in the morning to do a parent meeting about, what's going on there at the Harding Way and Wilson Way corridor.
Mm-hmm. Very good. I hope you are successful and other people in the community follow with you, because Wilson Way, Harding Way, I've seen it myself on Oak Street, Park Street, off of Wilson Way too. Here in Stockton, it needs a lot of changes made.
Yeah. I would like to throw my 2-cent penny, which for Gonzales. I have noticed that some of the recent councilmen that have been voted last year, I'm just an observationer. I'm just looking at when I'm looking there. And I noticed that certain council members have already voted. Some are already criticized that they're not doing nothing for their district, but yet they've been voting yes. So every little thing that come up in an agenda. And to me, I look at that when you're in a podium and you're talking to them, they're not even looking at you. They're talking among themselves. They're looking at each other, talking, and you're not paying their respect. They're not even gonna,
when the citizens have their 5 minutes to speak.
No, they're 3 minutes now. Now Tubb, I believe I noticed that he even control his council member 3 minutes right now, because even when Fregado was trying to question the question and he got rudely interrupted, then right away it was moved to another council. Even though by rule of order, you gotta let them finish it first, then you could talk to the next and second. But they didn't do that. So basically, it was really rubbish. So they go, oh, okay, you got your 3 minutes up. We'll come back to you, and then we'll go, and that's disruption. And to me, just because he's on the chair, don't mean that you have to take that power in that consideration that way too. So I don't agree with that. So you have to earn that respect. I think people have to respect each other at the council as well as in the public as well. It shows his demeanor. I'm sorry, go ahead.
So there are quite a few issues that need to be addressed with the city council and what's happening in our city.
The persons that I've been talking to, I have been talking to parents, I have been talking to voters, taxpayers, and they all agree that we're still waiting for Tubbs to wake up. He hasn't. It's all into himself. He's looking at either county supervisor or to be a congressman. He's not thinking about the people who voted him in. He couldn't even handle Black Lives Matters. He moved the city citizens' comments from the beginning to the meeting to the end of the meeting, so that way people would get up and leave. That's not a democracy, Mr. Tubbs. That's not a democracy. And for those members of the city council who are very rude to the constituency and citizens of Stockton, wake up, because you can be recalled. You can be recalled at this time. And those people who are are voting with one person, with the mayor, for everything he says. It's a yes man. Don't do it. Vote your conscience. Don't vote with somebody who says, well, if you don't go along with me, I'm going to make things hard on you. You know, that's a bunch of bull. This is not a strong arm, Mayor. This is democracy. And so we're at the city level. When we're talking constituency, well, I'm talking to people every day. I'm talking to 30, 40, sometimes hundreds of people. And they are watching the internet. They are watching Facebook. And I guarantee you, you're being criticized, Mr. Tubbs, for all these trips that you're doing on taxpayers' dollars. And you're not doing your job here in Stockton. More people are homeless. Unemployment's out of control, and we have a drug epidemic. We have meth, we have heroin, and it's out of control. You need to put your foot down. And I want to take time also out to thank Mr. Jones. Eric Jones is doing everything he can in his power. He's being commended throughout the state, and I know other police departments are trying to pull him away from the city of Stockton. So please work with the police department, but for God's sake, Mr. Tubbs and City Council, why don't you practice some leadership?
Well, I want to thank you very much for your comments and your concerns, and I'm sure there's a lot of people in our community that have the same concerns, and I hope that they'll go down to the Aztec Center and talk to you if they have the same kind of concerns.
Sure, we'll be there.
Okay, now I'd like to talk here to Fred, and Fred Oshtroy. Am I saying it right?
Yes, you are.
Okay. And he is a realtor with PMZ Real Estate here in Stockton, California.
That is correct.
Okay, and you know, most people want to always ask a person, how did you get into this business, or why did you go into your business? So I'm going to ask you, why did you decide to become a realtor?
Well, I'm more or less a people person, and when I was working for my brother, who was a doctor, I got to know a lot of people, and they wanted me to do something with real estate. So I was very happy to become a realtor and help people find their dream homes, and
wonderful.
Get
so
them.
How long have you been working as a realtor?
I've been 21 years now as a realtor.
That's a long time to be in this profession. It's good.
So you have been here when we had the problems with people buying houses and foreclosures and all the things that were happening.
2005, 6, 7 was the peak, and then the crash followed.
Can you tell us what a foreclosure actually is? Because I know there's a lot of people out in our community that does not know what a foreclosure is and how it happens.
The way foreclosures happen is if you don't make your mortgage payments for 3 months, the bank will send you a notice of default, and you have another couple months to respond or pay. And if you don't respond, then the bank will send you a notice saying foreclosure proceedings are going to be started.
So what does the homeowner have to do at that point?
They have to either reimburse the bank what they owe, and if they cannot, then the bank will foreclose on them.
Okay, so all right, so a lot of people will say foreclosure is a simple process, but when they start something new about short sale, then that's a different thing. So they use the property to see how much money they could get out of it, but you still owe the bank. When short sale come, you want this, you sell the house, you can't. That's when the bank cannot expect the buyer, the loaner, the obligation to release right?
The way short sales work is if a person has bought a home and the value of the home goes down and they want to sell it, but they owe more than what the property value is, they request the bank for giving them permission to do a short sale. The bank will ask them to give a letter of hardship why you cannot make the payments. So for instance, if you're just recently getting divorced, or you just lost your job, or you had medical expenses, hospitalized, whatever the reason that you could not make the payments on your mortgage, then you request your agent and the bank to help you do a short sale. And most often the banks will allow you to do a short sale depending on your hardship.
I see. Okay. Did you have a question that you wanted to ask?
Yes, I do. During the last 5 years, I noticed that you've been voted one of the best realtors in San Joaquin County, if not throughout the country. So can you share with us, Mr. Oshtroy, what is the secret of being Realtor of the Year?
Wow.
They're really, I don't look at it as a secret. It's like new agents, when they ask me how I've built my business, referrals are the main source of my business. I tell them the most important thing is to be honest with your clients, check the properties properly, make sure your client can afford the home and not go over their budget. The mortgage should not have a tightening effect on their lifestyle. And basically, when you're in escrow, you do all the disclosures, do the inspections to make sure that the buyer is happy with the home that they're purchasing. And obviously down the line, they send you more referrals once they're happy with you.
So it sounds like you're saying to be really honest,
diligent,
a lot of consideration for the buyers, and upholding, being a businessman with dignity and honesty.
That is absolutely right.
That's outstanding.
Thank you.
Congratulations for that person, the Realtor of the Year.
Thank you.
Must take a lot of good business skills and a good person.
I appreciate that. It's what we call the Masters Club, what Ted is
calling. The Master.
Well,
we got a Master here.
Yeah,
thank you.
Yes,
I heard that the Master Club had a cigar, they had your own robe, you have the little wine, cavalier, all that stuff, right?
They give you the trophies, yeah.
Yeah. And you can see them on the internet, on Facebook. We have a picture there with me and Mr. Oshtroy, who I've known for the last 19 years, and always a pleasure to meet with him. But I have another question for you, Mr. Oshtroy. Since the election of 2016, are more homes being sold or less?
There's not much difference in the sales part of it. The issue that we are facing in Stockton right now is inventory is low, and prices have gone up, which is kind of pricing out a lot of families that, for example, if you qualified for a $200,000 home a couple of years ago, now that same home is worth $250,000, and you don't qualify because you only qualified for $200,000. So it's pricing out a few buyers that want to buy homes to live in, but at the same time, the inventory is low. So
now, why is it pricing them out? How is it pricing them out?
Because what happens is when you apply for a loan, the lender looks at not only your credit and your job history and all, but your income.
Okay.
And they base your qualification of how much you qualify to purchase a home based on your income and your credit. And if you qualify, for example, $200,000 purchase of a home, and then down the line you can't find a home to purchase within that 3-4 month time frame, and the prices keep going up, now suddenly you find yourself, you don't qualify, you qualify for
a lower price house.
Yes. You qualify for the same amount, but because the prices have gone up, now you're priced out of those kind of homes.
Okay, I understand.
Okay, and also, just recently I had my house for sale, and I had learned that people were giving me offer that was ridiculous offer, what I was asking for, but they're mostly investor, and they were shopping home my home is more up to date than the one that we're looking for. People that had 2 bedroom, mine had 3 bedroom, 2 bathroom. The other one was selling the same price of my home, and they were friendly with people that have more figure upper than. But the thing is, I do believe that the inventory had been expensive and short, very short, because I have people from an agent from San Jose, I had an agent from San Francisco, I had people from over there that could afford to buy a house here, but yet they were too stingy to buy. And you could see when their qualification, they had $1 million in their bank account. I'm like, that's insulting. I'm like, wait a minute, I'm going to counter out just for a laugh, you know? But you could see that they had $1 million right there in their account. So it's ridiculous how offensive that is, you know? But at the same time, they were like an investor. You know, so
yeah, investors normally their intention is to get the property at below market value.
But investor kind of like cut people from their people that are trying to buy a home for the American dream. They cut them out. So there's too many bidding wars right there, because they want when the owner was sure they want to buy the house, and there's an investor who say, I'm gonna give you cash for it. They don't want to go through that process of going to the loan, escrow, and all that stuff. They want a 7 week, 7 days, or 30 days, or 15 days, whatever.
Correct. A lot of times cash buyers will knock off the buyers that have loans because there is no appraisal requirement. They can close in 15 days. It all depends on the sellers too, because I've worked with sellers who have been very diligent, very good. In fact, they've even taken offers below what other offers have been, just to help a person out. I recently had a Hispanic family, husband and wife. We had 3 offers on their property. The offer they took was an offer that I had presented $15,000 lower than the highest offer. And I explained to them they can go with whichever offer they want because it's their home. But the person that I was representing, she actually adopted 5 of her sister's kids, right, because her sister was incarcerated, and they felt very sorry for her, and they were like, we are going to take that offer. And I was honestly surprised when they did that.
So in other words, there were more people that are willing to sell their home to somebody that will take care of it, not use it as a home.
What the husband and wife told me, we appreciate a person like that doing good deeds. So they in their return, they did a good deed, which I was like, you're paying it forward. That was a good.
I have one question here before we are closing, because I'm very supportive of our veterans, and the veterans, many of them want to buy a home. And there is the GI Bill. Can you explain very shortly how a veteran can use that? And how can they buy a house?
Actually, my daughter was in the Navy herself, and she bought a home through the VA loan. VA loans are not difficult to get. Obviously you have to be a veteran.
Right.
You can get a VA loan with 0 down. It's called the VA no-no. Where you don't really put any money out of your pocket, the VA gives you the full amount, or you can go with the 5% down, 3.5% down, depending on what type. If you want your mortgage to be lower.
So you're saying the VA can give them, say, if the house is selling for $35,000, I know it's not very low, but selling for $35,000, the VA would give the veteran $35,000 to pay for the house, and then the veteran pays the VA back.
It's similar to like a bank giving you the mortgage. The VA will give you the mortgage, and of course you keep paying back.
What it is, the VA?
So the realtor gets the money right up front?
No, the seller gets the money through title.
Okay.
So the seller is paid off, and then it's a VA loan on the property that the buyer will have to pay like a mortgage, regular mortgage.
Back to the VA.
Correct.
Okay.
So the VA,
I didn't quite understand how that works.
But the VA loan that I have seen, that I worked in real estate before, is that it's a 2-party system. One, you apply to an organization, they go and look at the house and appraise it and everything.
Oh yeah, they have their own appraisers.
And then there's a 3-party system, which is the normal, the bank, the buyer, and the seller. You know, so they're like three parties. So no, the escrow, the bank, and the buyer, they're all together to buy the house. So in order to qualify, like FHA, VA, CalVet, they're also the good ones too. But they're not. It's not being not being
utilized
marketed.
as much. Yes.
So then the VA. So cause that also they just like a land contract instead of the deed. You know, so they're both different.
The most common loans are FHA and conventional, the main type of loans that people go for.
So because the conventional loans, you can let people know that that's for like kind of people that are high risk group.
Not necessary. In fact, FHA, the guidelines are person with lower FICO score can get an FHA loan. A conventional loan, you have to have a very good FICO score and a good down payment.
So it's backwards now.
Correct.
Before, it was like it's backwards because you couldn't qualify because of your score, and you had to put more money to make sure that you're going to actually pay the mortgage.
If they have certain regulations in conventional where if your credit score is 740 and above, that you get the best deal, best loan, best interest rate. If it's lower than that, you can put more down. The interest rate will go a little bit higher. But FHA, even up to 580 FICO score, a lot of lenders will give you an FHA loan, which is good for people who came out of short sales or who came out of foreclosures. Their credit is just starting to come back.
Okay, the last thing before I forget, and that's the most perfect, and people can relate, and even the people that are watching, when it comes to bankruptcy, that people want to start their life again and want to get back into selling the property, are they still, if they're affected by their predatory, or they have to wait 10 years to buy a house? Can they go maybe like they wait until 7 years and still not in that critical 5-10 year period mark?
No, there are lenders who on a bankruptcy, if it's been discharged, some of them within 2 years they will allow you to purchase a home, but you have to obviously put down payment and all. They'll adjust the down payment and the interest rate based on your credit score at that point.
So the credit score, let's say you said what is consider the people that don't know about the credit score? What are the good credit scores for them? Some people, missing payment?
If you miss payments, yes, your credit, especially if you miss mortgage payments, that's looked upon as no.
Yeah.
It drops your credit real bad, and lenders will look at mortgage rates more than they look at collection. Sometimes they'll overlook collection. They'll tell you pay the collection through escrow, and we'll give you the loan. But mortgage late, they frown on that. So anybody with mortgage lates will have to wait for a few months to clean that up, and before they. And there's a couple of companies that do that too. That help you clean up your credit, bring your credit score back up.
Okay, so how do people like what Ted was talking about for people who's homeless, and they've been out and then want to get a place to live? How does that factor go through? Are they have to at least have somebody to help it to get that loan? Assistant, like a home, or what is it called, low assistant home, whatever program?
There are, for example, if people have lost their homes and have become homeless because job loss or laid off or whatever, and now they're back, have the job back, but they don't have a home, and they can try and get a cosigner, what we call a cosigner, that will help get them on track. Otherwise, if you're really homeless and no income and all, banks will not. I have not come across any bank that will give you a loan if you don't have a job or credit.
What about through SSI, through SSA?
SSI, they look, if you are strictly on SSI, depending on if it's a permanent SSI, they will look at that as positive. Okay. They will calculate that as income and give you a loan.
Now, I have one more question.
Even disability, if you're on permanent disability, if you show them the documentation that I'm on permanent disability, this is how much I make every month, the banks will give you a loan.
Okay.
The last question that I have here is, during the crash of 2008, has our community or the real estate or whatever the inventory of homes has what's expected? Are we going to continually go down in prices, or are we going to have a surge of prices now?
Last 4 or 5 years, prices have surged. Right now, we are almost.
Can you explain what surge means so people don't might not know?
Surge meaning prices have gone up. In the past 4 or 5 years, they've steadily gone up. In fact, the past year and a half, they've kind of reached a point where a lot of people are being priced out, especially Stocktonians, income-wise, are being priced out of properties.
Do you think that homes are overpriced for our type of community here?
Not necessarily.
You're on this side.
Yeah.
We don't have a lot of industry here in Stockton, and
not overpriced to the point what happened in 2005-06, but steadily, if it keeps going higher than what it is today, yeah, a lot of people will be priced out. Those working and living in Stockton.
Okay, but now right now people don't literally don't. A lot of new millennium do not want to own houses. They want to live in rental. Okay, so I think that a lot of people, developer who want to put more condominium, they're cheaper. They want to have more like in the city center where everything is active. I have noticed they're trying in Stocktonian. They want to put everything in the downtown area. That used to be a ghost town. You remember that?
Yeah.
I got it like ghost town. Can't even see it.
well, when everything started moving out north, it was. But I remember the days when it was
right.
Main Street was the main drag.
Yeah, it was the bomb.
Boy,
I remember.
a lot was going on.
So Ted, I know that you're being very quiet right now. We're almost at the end of our station. Do you have anything you want to add, or before we close?
Yes, I was got carried away on that community issue.
One thing I want to kind of caution a lot of home buyers, because this is what happened in 2005, 6, and 7. Was the lenders were giving people loans where they could not really afford the mortgage payments, and they would tell them, you can turn around, refi, don't worry about it. Just be careful to make sure that when you purchase a home, that your mortgage is well within your means. My advice to almost all my clients is, even if one of you loses a job, the other one should be able, on their salary, to afford the payment. That way you don't lose your home.
Right.
So just be careful.
And also, just to add, just people that might not know, to Ryan, what you just said, I always like my client a fixed rate income and mortgage, because a lot of lenders like variable loan. They like interest-only loan. They think they qualify, and they need them to believe that they can refinance 5 years from now and get when they come in 5 years, they don't have the down payment to change the money.
Or the interest rate may be way higher in 5 years. You don't know. Fixed rate is the best way to go. 30-year fixed.
What about variable loan?
Variables, I do not advise anybody to go for variable loans, because that's what really brought us down in 2008.
Now they use that new formula, creative finance, where you have a ceiling gap.
They're starting that all that again. That's why I warn a lot of my clients, be careful. Don't go for the adjustables. Don't go for the arms, which they call 3-1, 7-1, 5-1 arms and all that. Those are kind of dangerous if you forget about it, or if you have a 5-1 arm and you wait for 4.5 years, and then you want to go refi, and suddenly now the interest rate, which is expected to go higher because they're not going to keep it the way it is, and then suddenly you find yourself, now the interest rate is 6.5%, 7%, whereas today it's around 4.25%. You may find yourself in a jam at that point.
So, for one thing, did the city of Stockton or city government or Santa kind of use a type of finance to purchase property, commercial property?
not commercial, but they do have programs, stand, and there's 2-3 programs that the city has for low-income people.
Okay.
My last question is, if one of the listeners wants to contact Fred Oshtroy in order to buy a home, how can they contact you?
Well, it's easy. Can I give my number?
Give your number, your address.
My cell number is area code 209-479-9319, and I work with my license hangs with PMZ Real Estate in Stockton. The address of there is 3516 Deer Park Drive, and zip code's 95219.
And Deer Park is just about a block north of I-5.
About a block and a half north.
No, not north, west.
West of I-5.
West.
Yes.
I'm going the wrong direction.
Yeah.
West, yes.
Of I-5.
Very good.
Okay,
Considered Brookside.
Any closing comment, Fred?
Yeah, my name's Ted, but they call me Fred.
I'm sorry.
This is
I want to thank Doug and Connie and the staff here at KXVS for giving us this time to interview Mr. Fred Oshtroy and learn more about how can we purchase a house, because 2018 is coming around the corner and it's the right time to come and at least come and talk to Mr. Oshtroy about buying a house, because those houses, the prices are going to level off, and I predict they're going to start going down, and a lot of us are going to qualify. So let's start thinking about buying a house for this new year. Okay? Thank you, Ted.
Great. Thank you so much, everyone, for listening to our today's segment. I thank Fred and Ted and Connie, my co-host, for helping me with this program. I thank you so much for everyone for watching us. Have a good day. The Voice of Stockton and KXVS. Take care.
I want to thank you, Doug and Connie and Ted also. Thank you very much, and 92.1 FM. Thank you for inviting me to have a talk.
You are so welcome.
It was a pleasure.
Enjoyed having you, both of you here. Excellent.